Want to start defensively. Obviously, Tanner McKee had a really good game against you guys last year, and the tight ends were pretty effective. So what about kind of stopping that part of their attack?
Well, Stanford always has great tight ends, no doubt about that. And they got the one guy coming back this year. So quarterback's the same guy, stands in the pocket, delivers the ball. Got some weapons on the outside with, the three receivers. Hopefully we can match up with just the one tight end compared to the two or three of them this time. Last year they had two good ones. That was really good. So looking forward to the challenge, to be honest with you.
Coach Michael Caratino, Sideline Sports. To kind of piggyback off that I know you talked about obviously finishing out games, being more aggressive, but overall up into the bye week, how do you feel the defense has grown more from a communication standpoint, even playing off each other?
There's times when we play really well, and there's times when we don't play as good as you'd like. As far as the communication part, I think we're getting better at that. I do believe that. Our biggest issue is the big, the explosive plays, keeping the ball in front and not, make sure you're in your gaps and make sure you stay on top of your man. Those are the things that's really hurting us so far. But as far as the communication, down by down, I'm okay with that. We just got to make the plays that we got to make.
Hey, Donnie. I asked Sean about self-scouting during the bye week.
Mm-hmm.
He mentioned kind of his, reasserting his goal of being as aggressive as possible on both sides of the ball. So I just wanted to ask, your perspective on taking a look at kind of where you think you stand.
It's always one, isn't it? It's always one that's trying to figure out the game plan.
Well, I'm not asking you exactly where you're blitzing from or anything.
No, I wouldn't tell you that anyway. So after looking at us, like you said, self-scouting, we do see that there's part of the game that we have to increase. It's no doubt about that. And some of that is pressure. Let's be honest. We have to bring a little bit more pressure than we have. But at the same time, we're not going to go overboard trying to be somebody that we're not. It's just not me at this particular time. So after we looked at where we've been, we have made some adjustments for sure.
Yeah, just to follow up on that, what have you thought about your man coverage? Because it seems like against Washington, they weren't very successful against your man coverage.
We were not.
They were not. Washington was
Washington
successful against you.
We that was part of the strategy as far as going to a little bit more man. You get a little nervous at times because they always find that one guy that's not on top of his guy, and I always say it's only one ball, so you got four other guys. As long as you're taking your guy, you got a chance. But you always have to worry about that one breakdown that could hit you. I think the biggest thing is down and distance, so that you got to make sure you're in tune with your guys on down and distances, and making sure that you're not showing so much when you're self-scouters. Most people say it's third down, okay, but that doesn't mean you have to blitz all the time. That means it doesn't mean you have to play man all the time. But when you look at your self-scouting, you got to figure out what that ratio is. So I'm inclined to make sure that going forward that we have enough ammo in there to make sure that we can change it up a little bit.
And what's it like working with Sean, the conversations that you guys have in sort of consideration of what you think is the best way to
Well,
play?
I tell you what, Sean's aggressive, and he wants you to understand that. And he says that all the time. He says, go be aggressive. And, as a play caller, you like that from the head coach. Then you got to think about the other part of it, like if it's forced down, get ready, because he's going to go aggressive that way also. So you can appreciate him because he's that way. Let's not sit back and be scared. You can lose being scared. You might as well win being scared too. So he's made me really comfortable about calling the plays now.
Hey, Coach, Jack Loader, Devil's Digest. Obviously, there's a lot of different faces on both sides of the ball this year, but can you take anything from the good performance you had against McKee in this offense last year in your preparation this week?
Boy, it was so long ago. They're not the same team that they were last year, so to speak. They've done some things to change up their offense a little bit. Like I said, last year they had all the big tight ends, and you see a little bit more of three wide receivers now. But again, you still got the skill guys. That's what's important. They still got the same guys that can get down the field and make the catches. And he sits in the pocket. He's got the running back, little number 2's in there, and he falls forward all the time. So trying to compare the two, there's some things he did do last year, but it's a little bit of change this year, yeah.